Creekmur, a journalist and co-founder of allhiphop.com.
All right, Chuck interviewed DMX many times and had a long history with the rap star going back to the late 90s. Chuck, I want to say I really am just so moved by his life story. Obviously, he reached a level of success few people will ever know in their careers. But I think what's so fascinating is how honest he had been throughout his life about his shortcomings and struggles. And that's what people really bonded to him about and why they're having such a hard time right now hearing about his death.
Yeah, absolutely. I like to consider him perfectly imperfect. He was extremely honest and he was extremely authentic. And that really opened him up to an audience and a world that may have escaped other artists, you know. So musically, DMX was incredibly talented, and we all know this. He was the soundtrack to the 90s for most of us leading into the 2000s, but his honesty is what kept us in love with him through the years.
Chuck, I'm curious, was he intentionally vulnerable in his music? Did he do it so that he could share his story? Was that sort of his intention with being so honest with his pain?
I think so. I think at a certain point, I think it was some form of therapy for him. I think early on, he was just being honest but therapeutic through the music. And once you attain the heights that he attained, then it becomes a different sort of responsibility and burden even to carry when you know that so many people are with you and also going through their own struggles and you represent for them.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. Obviously, he had that long struggle with drugs, which unfortunately led to his death at too early of an age, just 50 years old. That's something he spoke about with quite length and honesty, etc. I saw that Source interview from a year ago when he talked about his mentor in hip-hop unwittingly introducing him to crack when he was just 14, and you know, he really broke up during that interview. And I think that's a story that so many people can relate to.
Yes, and I think that it's a story that we need to keep in the forefront of his life and his struggles. He didn't choose to do crack. He was trusting someone who unwittingly, you know, or actually intentionally gave it to him. And that's something we always have to, you know, keep right in the front whenever we talk about his addiction. And so therefore his struggles were our struggles. We prayed over him. I just look back at my old Facebook posts, and I mean, I can't, you know, I prayed over DMX more than I prayed for some of my friends and family. That's how open he was about his struggles. And so he's a mirror to some of the darker parts of our society and some of the more insidious things that happen in our communities, especially the urban ones.
We're certainly talking about him as an iconic rapper, but as I understand it, he did a lot more than rap. He was multifaceted, he was an actor, and by the way, apparently he had a wicked sense of humor.
Oh, yes, he did. And I was blessed enough to, I spent many moments with him, but one day I spent an entire press run day with him, and it was hilarious. I mean, I can't even share the stories because it would be somewhat embarrassing to some people, but he, you know, and again, these are the things that don't happen on record. You know, the fact that I can smile about DMX, the fact that he touched people and kids flocked to him is a testament to that he wasn't always Dark Man X. Sometimes he was hilarious. Sometimes he was, you know, intensely religious and spiritual, and other times when he got on that stage, he represented the angst and the intensity that we all felt in our most darkest moments.
Yeah, and, you know, certainly we do associate him with late 90s hip-hop, early 2000s, as you mentioned. And the interesting thing is, you know, he grew up in Westchester County. He didn't escape to you know, a mansion in Beverly Hills. He was a local guy through and through to the very end.
Absolutely. And I mean, and the funny thing is that when you go back and you check out some of the posts and the hashtag, you'll see people following, you know, they'll catch DMX in Target. Right. One of my friends met him in a rest stop, you know, just the most odd places. You know, he was really a guy, to quote a famous poem, he walked with kings, but he never lost a common touch. And that's the beautiful thing about DMX, and you know, it's why I'm in mourning, and he's not truly a family member, but he was a part of our hip-hop family and our extended family, and the fans feel so deeply about his passing.
Chuck, before we let you go, are you hearing anything about a memorial service? I mean, I'm thinking something grand scale. He was such a huge name that I imagine this is going to be a big production, a big event.
Oh, absolutely. Nothing definitive yet, but the family has sort of put everyone on notice that there is going to be something major. And when we've seen in the past, say for people like, say, Nipsey Hussle and others, we're noticing that the global community is coming together more and more. We're more connected than we ever have been, and we feel this on a deeper level because we're all universally feeling the same thing. So I can imagine that it's going to be huge.
Yeah, indeed. Chuck, we really appreciate your insights. Thanks for clearing a few minutes for us.
Thank you for having me.
And you can stay with Fox 5 for continuing coverage.